help. He tried to help Zoraida, but that did not happen too well. I think he had to also
Muchas
leave
gracias. Sí.
because he had a meeting.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, so he had a meeting. He had to go for the meeting. So please watch the other sessions. Please watch some other shows of, I don't know, Zoraida, do you actually watch? Because she always puts a nice comment on Facebook and Instagram, but does she watch them? Zoraida, do you watch all these shows of mine? Please ask her.
Yeah.
Does she see all these various things that I put out on YouTube? Does she watch
Yes,
them? She does?
she see it. She see it. She's always seeing the conversations and the meetings. I'm too. I see with her because it's like do like you're retroalizing the information that you have. You have like you're feeding with more information in your brain, so it's helping to understand more the different situation of each other.
Mm-hmm. But which one has she enjoyed watching? Which of
Yeah,
those?
I enjoy it.
Which
She
one?
enjoyed it too.
Which one? Which one? Tell me about some specific one that you've seen. Tell me which one you enjoyed.
Uno específico que hayamos visto y que realmente disfrutamos ver, conversación o directo de Vikram.
Y hace poquito con una de las mediadoras brasileras, que no me acuerdo muy bien del nombre, pero creo que
You have a mediator
de Brasil.
From Brazil,
From Brazil.
a lady that have speak with you about mediation, and she enjoyed specifically that because we talk in Portuguese too, and was weird to listen it in English because we like listen in Portuguese to the conversation.
Who was that? In Portuguese? Someone was speaking in Portuguese. Who was that?
¿Quién era?
Ay, no me acuerdo.
She's searching the name.
He was the person was. Hi, Luis.
Hello, my friend. How are you, Vikram?
You've already met.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi. Hola, Zoraida.
¿Qué tal, Luis?
It was her session, and we decided that Luis is too busy, so Gabriela has helped her translate.
Te reemplazó, Luis.
No reemplacé nada, tranqui. Es mucho más fácil cuando es un profesional el que está hablando y no una persona que se pone muy nerviosa en público.
Bien. Oh, my friend.
Thank you very much. We are live right now. I have to put it live at the right time. So we are live right now. So whenever you are ready, we can always start. So thank you very much, Luis, for coming. And of course, a last minute invitation.
It's always good, my friend.
Constanza.
Andrea
Maya. Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrea Maya. Yeah. It was very nice. That discussion was really nice.
Muy buena la disertación. Sí.
So yesterday also they were there. Andrea and Constantia were in the show yesterday. I've sent you that link. Please watch it. It was really very interesting because they are doing some very interesting work in Brazil in terms of mediation. Yeah.
La verdad que todas, a veces veo partecitas de cada una porque no alcanzo a quedarme mucho tiempo, pero realmente cada una de las intervenciones de los distintos mediadores es muy interesante. Cada uno aporta algo distinto y realmente enriquece.
Yes, Gabriela, what did she say?
That she's always watching the meetings, but she's not always, she can't always see it complete, the meeting or the videos. She see parts of the videos, of different videos, because we're always
okay, so what you have to do is what you have to do is that Luis Ore, he's come on various shows of mine. He's doing some very wonderful work in Peru. where communities are affected by mining projects. He's done a very interesting work. He was part of the Prime Minister's office there also as a mediator. So he's done very interesting work. Please watch his shows. Please go to YouTube, write Mediator Vikram and Luis Ore, and you'll get all the shows with him. So please do that.
Great.
Okay. So now, Gabriela, we are moving to Luis now. So you can stay. There's no problem. You can stay. I'll just put you on mute. And we
No,
now,
I have work, sorry.
your wish, your wish. You can
I
stay.
have a
Go.
mid of work now.
No problem. Your wish. Totally your wish. I'll just put you on mute. You people can stay, whatever, your wish. And later, if Zoraida has some questions also, she can ask Luis. So, Luis, thank you very much. And it's always a pleasure having you. So please, you can introduce yourself. You'll have to introduce yourself because there is so much that you have to, because well, you know why it's important is because heart, soul, spirituality, how they are connected to you as a person, your growing up, whatever you want to tell us to connect that. So we'll move forward.
Okay, so hello everybody. I'm Luis Ore. I'm a friend with Vikram since long ago. Vikram did an amazing job connecting all mediators in the world during this COVID pandemic situation around this planet. So it's amazing all what Vikram has done so far and is doing. So we met, and one of the first things I said when we introduced each other, I said, well, I'm a reform attorney or an attorney in recovery, because attorneys are taught to be kind of fighters for a cause, while my cause is to foster safe spaces or generate the right conditions to have constructive, positive, inclusive dialogue to create or generate mutual gains, like benefits for all, as much as we can. So I'm happy to be in your program again, my friend, and I'm ready to start a deep conversation about soul, heart, spirituality, and those things that are complicated to put in words, but we will try to do our best.
Absolutely, absolutely. So where are we going to start? We're going to start with you as a person, and what does spirituality mean to you?
Not very scientific explanation, but spirituality to me means that there is more out there than just us and things like all beautiful trees, the nature, the wildlife, the animals, and humans, and factories and furniture. There's something else. There's something beyond. There's some godness somewhere, like energy or God or somebody who did the Big Bang and everything exploded and somebody did something. So that's why we are here.
So is that a person, or is there a what is the concept? Is it a energy level? It's a
whatever we can define it. I mean, you can say it's energy. If we are watching Hollywood movies, George Lucas might be the Force, like the Jedi stuff. Might be God, Allah, Jehovah, whoever. I mean, any kind of God. I had a girlfriend in my past that she believed in a little star, that this little star created the whole world. Well, who knows? Whatever you want to believe, it's okay. At least if it's a good stuff, right?
Absolutely. But how do you, I mean, is there a connection that you make between religion and spirituality?
I may say that I think spirituality is wider, bigger, because I don't know if religions can, I'm not expert in religions, I'm Catholic, but religion, I believe, has one or more gods, and spirituality believes in something else that maybe it's not one person or one creator, it's just energy or something. I don't know, it's like more general. view or perspective.
And what about the soul?
You know, when I was a kid, I never read books. But there's always, you find books in the bathroom. And I used to
Zureda, he's frozen, huh? He's frozen. Yes. Luis, if you can hear us, all we can tell you is that you are frozen.
La señal de repente no es buena acá en Sudamérica y se cortan. La señal de internet.
But I tell you, Zureda, you should actually you should share the screen, put your Google Translate, and you can talk in Spanish. I can understand in English. Then I will share the screen. I will speak in. Look, that's the only way.
Okay. Vamos a tratar de irnos a Google Traductor. Okay.
Do you think there is a connection between religion and spirituality?
Sí.
My friend,
you're back.
I think I was victim of loss of energy.
But while you were gone, I asked Zoreda if there is a connection between religion and spirituality. Zoreda will come to you. Yeah.
Sí, así mismo como dijo Luis, la espiritualidad está muy conectada con las religiones. Por eso yo dije las creencias, porque religiones hay muchas, pero la verdad el sentimiento es el mismo. ¿Verdad? Es el mismo Dios, pero con distintos nombres, pero son las creencias las que hacen que exista esa espiritualidad. Pareciera que aquel que no cree en algo es duro con la cuestión espiritual.
Yes. What did she say? She said so much, Luis. Now you have to translate that.
No, she said that there's some connection between religion and spirituality, and she said there's one God, and you have different names or labels. You have Jewish, you have Muslims, and you have Catholics, and everybody comes from Abraham, and there are other religions. But if I can close what I was saying, is like, yeah, there's something. Some people call it God, some people call it energy, or some people call it something else. So it's whatever we want to believe that makes that.
So I was on the soul. Yeah, you're going to tell us about the soul.
Right, and I was telling you this, trying to tell you that I ran into this quote when I was a kid, and all that always stick in my mind, which is, what's the soul? The soul is the presence of God in the body. So there's something that make you be good and have life, like, and that's what your eyes glow is. Yeah, there's something on inside you, like turn on, turn off, something on.
Which is in all of us, obviously.
Yes.
Which is in all of us.
Yes.
So are they?
Yes.
Are they connected to each other? Are we, in terms of the soul, connected to each other? What is the concept there?
Yeah, well, I think. Okay, let's say that I think that we're connected with each other, but it's like when you turn up or turn down the volume. Somebody have really good connections and they are all volume high up. Others, the volume is not that high, and maybe it's a really thin line connecting, or maybe there are situations when you have like a break. There's a break in that line. But I think that most of us, we are connected, and most of us has the capacity of turn up the volume of connection among humanity.
So
That's
that's
my
the soul.
belief.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we have to touch the heart. What does the heart mean to you?
Let's put it this way. I don't know how much research there's out there about your neurons and love and the connection of love and neurons and the brain. But I still believe that and some people say, well, the heart doesn't have to do anything with the love. But I want to believe that heart is connected to that thing called love. And I think love is very powerful, not because just the Beatles say, oh, all you need is love. Also, for instance, as I said, I grew up Catholic, and there are these Jesuits that there's a Society of Jesus, like called Jesuit. It's a religious order from the Catholic Church, and the founder of this order said something that we need to govern using all the love and modesty and charity possible. So we can turn in environments with greater love than fear, as the opposite of Machiavelli, that Machiavelli ruled the world with fear. So I tend to believe that there's more kindness in humans. I don't know the quote. I should Google it before our meeting. Something like Einstein said something like, if you want to change the world, you need to see the world with better eyes, like there are more good people than bad people or something like that. So all that stuff is connected to the concept of love for me and with the heart. And yeah.
But then the connection, we said there's in terms of the soul, there is some connection. Now, in terms of the heart, is there something that connects, or how does that work?
Well, I say that there is something on or off. There's a switch inside our bodies, and I think that the heart has maybe have some connection to turning on the soul. So because I believe there's that connection of or that line that connects humans or souls, kind of maybe the engine is the heart.
It's interesting because when we talk about mediation, all these things that you have said, then you'll have to put it in that perspective. So I think because I put it in 3 parts, you can obviously expand it. I said, one, let's look at it from the perspective of the mediator. That's one. Second, let's look at it from the perspective of the parties, in relation to the parties. Third is in relation to the process. So where do these elements fit into all these 3? And how then the whole thing connects to each other? So those are the things you'll have to take us through. But in terms of Einstein's quote, were you talking about this one? The world we have created is a product of our thinking and cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Are you talking about this one? If you want to change the world, he said, the world we have created is a product of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. If we want to change the world, we have to change our thinking. No problem can be solved from the same consciousness that created it. We must learn to see the world anew. Something like that. Yeah,
yeah, that's Einstein. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Something along those lines. So you need, yeah. And I always say in my trainings that the great discovery that Harvard University did was, if you want a different results in your negotiations, you need to perform or act differently. But in order to act differently, you need to change or reframe your mindset. And your mindset deals with how you see the world. If I see everybody as my enemy, I will act most likely in a competitive way, and I will want to defeat them. But if I see other people as, well, maybe they are not the enemy, maybe they are real humans, and we can work together to do joint problem solving and achieve the results we want with mutual gains. So that's, yeah. It
Absolutely.
depends on how we see the world. And part of our work as mediators is to shift that mindset with the people that work, that the parties in a mediation, to try to stop seeing each other as enemies and try to see each other as, okay, we have a problem, we need to work together to resolve it. Like side by side, used to say Roger Fisher and William Ury, and that side by side, that sitting side by side, facing together the problem, it might connect with, well, let's sit our souls together, right? Let's try to connect and address the problem.
Exactly.
So I guess part of the job of the mediator in my work is to foster an environment or create the conditions. I may put some flowers on my words, okay? Because it's a welcoming and loving environment. But maybe not loving, but at least a safe place where we can be ourselves and share our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, and be confident that nobody's going to beat us up because of what you're saying, and trying to be careful how we say it in the discussion. So I guess part of the job of the mediator is to foster this good energy space, positive soul space, and the mediation process is what we use techniques and other stuff to try to welcome parties in this safe space, and trying to turn up the volume of connection among these individuals of soul, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But first you have to start with yourself as the
Right.
mediator. Your heart, soul, spirituality, and then what do you bring to the mediation? So first, on with the mediator itself, with you yourself, where do you start, and what do you have to tell us about your own thought process on that?
Right. Well, I'm a human being. I have many defects, errors, but one that I would like to do better is I don't do meditation. And I don't know if because I have never had a master who can explain to me how to do that well, but I think too many things at the same time, and I get lost in my thinking. So I open my eyes and I cannot do meditation. Okay, I need help with that. But there was somebody who said, "Oh, if you are mad, you need to be quiet and count till 10. But if you are very mad, very upset, you need to count till 100." And I guess that wisdom comes from somebody who did meditation. I don't know. But you need to at least breathe. When I was a kid and I got upset, my father looked at me and say, breathe, breathe. So yeah, we need to calm ourselves. And it's funny because I have done this work, as you mentioned, for the Peruvian government, facilitating big spaces, and even with Zoom and many people in the room. And I have a friend working with me, a good communicator, Juan Ramon Sola, and he looked at me when I was facilitating this space, and I was very calm and peaceful and giving the word to everybody to speak. And he looked at me after that and said, "Hey, Luis, what happened with you? Why? Because you are full of energy, you are connecting, you are talking, but in that session you were very calm, and I don't know, it was very funny that, I don't know, it was kind of, I was possessed for some Jedi force, I don't know."
but this aspect you have to maybe explore a little more on this aspect of what the mediator brings in these on these aspects.
Yeah. Okay. There's something called connected, as I mentioned, with love, and I truly believe. Well, as I said, everybody wants to be loved. Roger Fisher and Daniel Shapiro, they wrote a book called Beyond Reason, and it's how you use emotions as you negotiate. And they talk about 5 concerns or 5 key emotions, and one is appreciation. And everybody has the desire to feel understood and honestly valued. So everybody wants to feel love. And that's what I think we need to work on, in the sense of, it's like to see a flower grow, you need to plant the seed and pour the water, and you will see the magic of nature. But you need to take care of stuff. So I think, to be able to love other people, you need to be able to love yourself. You need to be self-aware of your weakness and strengths, your flaws, your beauties, to be, I think, confident enough to manage a process that people can feel safe. I think the secret is safety. I mean, safety and feeling embraced. It's not that you're going to be in a session touching people. Maybe at the end people can hug, but you need to be able that people feel, I don't know if their heart or their soul warm, but safe enough to be comfortable with yourself and be yourself. So yeah.
So what
And
basically,
I'm sorry?
so basically 2 parts you're saying. One is the mediator by self is within themselves, they're connected with themselves, love themselves, and then creating a certain kind of an energy field that the other people can then be part of it. So this is what we're going to be, which is what I would really want to explore, that what is it that brings that safe space? What is, how does the mediator create it? What is it all about? Because that's what is important. If some people do it and some people maybe.
Right. We talk a lot about empathy, and empathy is the deepest understanding of the other one. But I think there's a little plus to feel, to make that room full of positive energy, positive feeling, which is you need to be able to feel the other. It's not enough to understand the other one, but you need to feel the other. Not feel like the other. Oh, I know how you feel, Buloni, because that doesn't work. It's never real. But you need to make an effort to try to feel what the other one is feeling. It's like, oh, I mean, I feel what you're kind of feeling. I'm making an effort. And the other one can realize that, wow, this person is trying really to connect with me, to connect with my soul. So it's like trying to fish, trying to connect with the other one.
Keyword, I think, keyword is connection. So what we are exploring, we're exploring is how is that connection made? What is it that goes into it from the perspective of the mediator and the parties? This is exactly what the whole concept, I think, basically, I think is what is it going to be around connection.
Right. Is the to do this work, you need to have the capacity to connect with others, to sense others, to try to see the light inside the other ones. I mean, like the light, as we mentioned in a prior conversation, like E.T., E.T. when he had some feelings, his chest turned on, and you see a little, I don't know, was the heart turning on or something, but you see a light. So you need to connect with that light of the other people.
That's also, but we have to really also explore is that, are you connecting to the light, or you are being able to create that, whatever that light, you're able to create it and then connect to it. So how much of that goes into it? So I think both aspects have to be looked at.
Right. Well, it's like recently I have realized that I try to put many of my thoughts into images and movies and stuff. And how you create that light inside the other one, it's like when you are grilling, you put some on the grill and you put the charcoal and you turn on the charcoal and then you are to make the light kind of. So that's kind of the work that we need to do. We're not going to create because they have the charcoal. We just need to turn on the charcoal kind of thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. These are the interesting things that need to come out. Although, look, I did not want to put it in a certain direction. I don't want to put words in it, but because this has come up, so I'm saying this. It has to be your thoughts totally. I don't want to bring in my own. But
Right,
these are
right.
things that we need to really explore, because these are things which never get discussed. Because there is no,
Indeed.
you don't have a gauge to gauge this and say, oh, this has happened. These are experiences. So that is why I think we need to bring these things out in terms of our experiences or how we understand it.
Yeah. And I have not explored this enough, but some people talk about mindfulness in the mediation, right? So, and I think it deals with all this stuff of soul, heart, spirituality, charcoal, ET, and volume, those things. Like, people may say these guys are cookie, what they are talking about.
Yeah, interesting thing, because I'm telling you that because maybe, which is what I've been saying, that a certain concept of mediation got circulated around the world. Maybe it came from a certain part of the world where these elements were not discussed, are not discussed. Maybe they don't form part of the understanding of people, and it is more a transactional kind of thing. So we need to expand it, because if the mediation has to grow, it means that various elements of it also need to be discussed with it. You can't have a limited perspective on mediation and then circulate it, because otherwise people won't be able to connect with it. To connect with it, we have to have a larger discussion. So this is why the idea behind the symposium was that let's start the conversation on this part and then
Right.
take it forward, however it goes forward. So that's why one is, of course, you nicely put it in terms of connecting people and that glow and light and all that, and in terms of the process, how that all comes together, because obviously you've dealt with so many people at the same time. I mean, there's large communities. So what did you experience there?
Where?
In that setting where you have so many people that you have to connect to. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think just few people have the capacity to connect with the mass. Like, I don't know, Martin Luther King, and he talked with people, and people are like other guys in different religions, and create movements, and you see them speech, and it's like you fall in love with the guy or the girl who's speaking. Well, I think that we have just few people in the world being able to do that. You can train on that, I guess. But the way to connect with people is, I think, is at the individual level. It's like one at a time. Yeah. So one of the, I don't know if I'm going out of the topic, but one of the things I think I've been thinking for a while, people needs to improve their self-esteem in many places, many areas in the world. How you can increase the self-esteem of people, and how maybe it's connected with lack of love, how we can make a more loving world, like people feel love or feel appreciated. because if people don't feel good with themselves, it's very difficult that they feel good with other people. So I've been looking on how you can, I don't know, the psychologists may help people get better with their minds and their souls, but can you do as a mass movement, like all the population, you can like make them feel better? Yeah, feeling better, I guess. But I know I'm capable of connecting with people. I think I have that something that I can connect with people. But you can do it one at a time, two at a time, three at a time. It's not like you can go and you're not superhero. We all want to be heroes, but yeah.
No, but I think maybe we need to study this aspect that, look, one is that you, in the presence of someone, there is a certain feeling, like you said, maybe feeling good. Someone wants to feel good, and they feel good in the presence of some people. So there, the words are not important. The presence is important. So we are looking at that part, because some people with their words, some people with their looks, all those elements, yes, those are different senses. But that presence of a person, when we say, that is the part we need to explore, that how does that work, and how that is something that mediators bring in, because that, according to me, is what is the important part, at least as part of the symposium. The other aspects of obviously are also, I mean, it's not that we are limiting it to this, obviously all those exist, but this aspect of it, I think, needs to be explored. The presence, when you say presence, what is it?
Yeah, and I need the presence. And somewhere I read, I heard that like mindfulness is to be present. Okay, but this presence needs to set the tone and reduce the I don't know if the revolutions is a word in English, but it's like to slow down, to calm down, and our presence as mediators, we need to be part of this energy environment where we can help to. Since we welcome people saying, hey, how did you get here, was safe enough, like even how you speak slowly, it's not like blah, 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 like we speak all the time.
Because that's the connection that we really have to look at. What connects people? What is it that really connects them? Where does, first of all, why I was starting with the mediator was that from the mediator's perspective, what is it that a mediator brings in which can help in that connection or connects? So is it the purity of the soul? It is the purity of the heart? Or is it the spirituality of the mediator, or those elements which play a role? So that's what I'm trying to explore. I mean, just exploring these aspects. So how do you look at that?
Well, that's curious, because I mentioned this book Beyond Reason of Daniel Shapiro and Fisher, and they have another concern, another key concern or key emotion, which is affiliation, and they have a chapter of how you build affiliation, which is the sense of connectedness with another person or a group. So building that connection, it will kind of bridge or I guess the gap of between people and the differences. So how we throw bridges to people to connect and yeah.
Yeah, because there has to be, first of all, within the mediator, there has to be certain elements which, for you, it, like you said, reach, I mean, say it's a fishing rod is what you're saying, to connect. So that means you have to have that rod, you have to have that string, you have to have that hook, and then you do what you do. So in a way, I mean, it's how do you develop that part? Or what I mean, is it already developed, or it needs to be developed? How does that work?
Yeah. And at the beginning we were talking about how you see the world, what's the paradigm, you see the people as good people or evil people. And it's like, I think you need to have a hope. You need to hope that there are good people. You need to, I don't know, hope of humankind or kindness in humans. Because if you don't have that feeling or that belief, it will be very difficult to, I don't want to connect with that evil spirit. It's like,
So yeah, so basically, maybe what you're saying is that see the good in people, something like that.
yes,
Something
yes.
like that. So first of all, yeah.
So if you see the good in people, you will have the inner energy to want to connect. You will want to connect or want to help them resolve their differences.
Which means, yeah. So basically, when we say see the good in people, is mean that you have to go deeper, or are we reaching out to the heart? Are we reaching out to the soul? So, but getting to a point which is what we say the person or the self of that person, seeing the good in that aspect of it, because there might be things around that person in terms of their actions or whatever, to be able to look beyond that. So,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And because I think many of the conflicts is not about things. The things might be like we say in negotiation, the position. This is what I say I want, but what I really, my real interest, what my real concern, my hope, my fear, my desire, is more non-tangible. It's not, you cannot touch it. It's more like, yeah.
So that's the thing, to be able to touch that part, what is not touchable.
Right.
To be able
You
to
need
touch
to,
that.
yeah. I guess you need to have images in your head. I mean,
So I think what we'll have to do, Luis, is we'll have to create some kind of analogy on this, which is something that I'm trying to work on, is something like the Wi-Fi. You have a Wi-Fi, say, in the house, and
right.
that connects you to the internet. Okay, so what is the internet? It's just a whole collection of computers all over the world connected to each other, and then
Right.
you are the device. Okay, so you are the device, which is, say, the mobile phone. Now your mobile phone may have Wi-Fi connectivity or may not have Wi-Fi connectivity. So first, to develop that inside you, that you get Wi-Fi connectivity, then you are able to connect to the router. And once you're connected to the router, then you connect to the internet. So somewhere there, in terms of your soul connecting to other
Yes.
souls.
So mediators are like routers.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We have to create an analogy there.
Yes.
How do something there?
It makes sense. Yeah. 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 And I think that's more, I don't know if the word exists, like imaginable, more touchable in images,
Yeah.
than like me talking about the force of the Jedi's. And but you need to be old enough like me, like to understand what's Star Wars.
Yeah. Because this is something everyone can relate to. So now,
Right.
from this perspective, what we have to look at is that, is spirituality the internet? And is that what you're connecting to on a larger whole? And is your soul the router? And is your heart the I don't know. I mean, we're just looking at various options. Who's who? What is the device? Is the device your soul? Then that is your soul. Then what is the router? Router is connecting you to that. Then that is spirituality. And
Right.
then there is a larger, once you connect to that, then is the internet this larger energy, or this larger thing that we keep talking about, that there is some energy. Everyone keeps saying this. There is something beyond us. I heard that. I mean, I told you that first episode of my series that I had started, Mediators, Mediation, and Spirituality. This was the discussion. Have a look at it. Maybe I'll send you a link also.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay.
everyone from all over the world answered that question. And everyone was talking about this larger, the much larger concept than, of course, the self. So what is that larger thing? So I'm just putting it in terms of the analogy that the larger could be that internet. and then to be able to access different computers, what we do when we put an IP address, so we connect to something. So that way, to be able to connect to Louis, if I have to connect to Louis, that means I have my device, first of all, has to have internet, Wi-Fi connectivity. So everyone might not have that. Some phone, like you do, so all of them are not smartphones. Every phone is not a smartphone. So that means either you have to first of all become a smartphone, or at least a phone that has Wi-Fi connectivity. Then you, through your spirituality, which is the Wi-Fi, the router, you can then, when you connect these two, then you are able to connect somewhere. But to connect to there, you have to at least put an IP address, or you have to have something else to reach there. So just your Wi-Fi is not going to do it. You at least have to put something there. So that putting something and then connecting to the other, like suppose you are a website somewhere else and I have to access you, I should know how to access you. So something connects between us, something that is your address. It's you, the individual, and connecting to that. And then there's some which are malware sites. So you connect to those and you download viruses.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I just, we have to look at it from
No, makes sense. But I may see the people as more as like the cell phone, the devices.
Yeah.
And when the relationships are not good, or the connection is not good, and you have a conflict, you need, your Wi-Fi doesn't work, so you need to connect the cable.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe we, the mediators, are the routers. We are with the cable, like going around who we need to connect to upload, to improve their Wi-Fi. And now you have your Wi-Fi. Now you can fly. Go.
Then you can connect to each other. Now you can connect to each other. So
Right.
that's what you're doing. Yeah. So something there. I mean, I think that something that we'll have to develop into something which is simpler to explain, and that these analogies are sometimes simple to say explain.
Yeah. And you know what? I may use like the spirituality and the energy more like the spectrum, like the air where the vibes go. Because if we use just the word internet, people might start thinking Google and Facebook want to conquer the world, and internet. So I think internet might not be a good word for some people.
Okay, so what you're saying is to be able to catch those signals which are there.
Yes.
Of course. So that part of it is what is some,
Yes.
you have something, a device that you have to be able to catch something which is already there. It's all out there. Tap into it, to be able to tap into it. So that's an interesting thing. I think we'll develop this, Luis. I think we'll have to develop this, and the next book of Luis will come out. Heart, soul, Wi-Fi, and spirituality.
Sounds good.
So, but now in terms of the process or anything that you want to, these elements, you want to bring in the importance of these elements and connecting people, connecting hearts, souls, anything there?
It may sound so basic, but the capacity to turn off our second thoughts and to turn on our full active listening, so the other one feel heard. That's key to start connecting. I guess the turn on of your device is you turning on your ears, your hearing capacity. Because when people feel that, well, this guy is really listening, maybe I will start telling what's deep inside me. So that capacity to connect, I think the first step is to the capacity to deeply, sincerely, curiously listen to the other one. And then the capacity to feel the other one. And if I am listening and feeling the other one, I will be able to connect. And yeah, that connection is that's the key. And you need to do that with appreciation with love in yourself, and to be able to foster a space of love where you can see the goodness in people.
Well, look, when I keep talking about the mediator mindset, so I am trying to put these elements there, that someone who basically, I've been saying beautiful soul, I keep using that. So the beautiful soul coming from the heart and being spiritual, I feel are important elements when I say I call it the mediator mindset, but the person who, a mediator for me, should have these parts in it. I don't know whether you feel the same.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's um, the full package, I would say, is the mindset and the soul set.
Yeah.
The beautiful mind or beautiful soul and the right mindset to do the full package.
Yeah, because like I said, that these are the elements which get lost out because I will make you a mediator concept comes up. Now, this part about someone being a beautiful soul, those are things which, yeah, you're saying something, Luis.
Yeah, well, yeah. One of my favorite quotes is that it doesn't matter that you have all the tools, the equipment, the methodology, the processes to do conflict resolution if you don't have the right mindset. I always say that. It's like one of my favorite quotes. But that mindset goes with the beautiful mind and the beautiful soul that you are talking about.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because for these elements, like I said, you might not be able to put down into numbers or words and all, because these are elements which are there, which have to be experienced. So, but I feel that that part of it is important, and I keep highlighting it, and I really want to highlight it here. But Avi, he's in, I think, Israel. He's put a comment. He's saying, "Do you have to learn to build bridges?" What do you say?
Yes.
You have to learn, or can you just build bridges? Now we have to. This is where the whole thing comes up. You have to learn, or
Well, you have great soccer players in the world. Some are the greatest soccer players because they were trained since they were kids, and some were born with that quality or capacity. I mean, you can be born with that and do it innate, I guess that's the word, but you can also develop that.
this is what we have to. Yeah, this is exactly what we need to explore, because when you really hear about those people who, of course, are big players, someone had identified them on some field, or call all these children in for some kind of a camp, and they identified. So a seed, basically, that's what I've been saying, that a seed is there, and the seed will then
It needs
grow,
to be polished.
yeah,
Right.
and it'll grow and become a tree and become a large, like banyan tree. Say if we look at Ken Cloke, you're at a different level altogether as you grow. But the
Right.
seed, for me, that seed, I say, has to be there. Can you
Correct.
create those elements in an individual? I still feel not. But can certain experiences in a person's life, can they change that aspect? So this is what we have to really also explore.
Yes, I mean, I think as we were talking earlier, part of us is energy, and maybe we have good energy or bad energy, but somebody needs to connect their mind with their soul and their heart to turn on that positive energy, and then you have that seed. I think everybody has the seed because everybody has the potential to be a wonderful human being. I mean, I believe people are by design good. So society and the environment turn them into bad people. Maybe there are some flaws around. Those are super crazy evils, but I think the majority of people has the natural condition to be good, to have that seed of that we can water and grow.
No, because Luis, the thing is that one is that everyone has that goodness in them, is what you're saying. They have that goodness.
Yes.
and that goodness can maybe be latent, but can come out at whatever. So that's one part. Now to be able to connect to goodness or connect various goodnesses around, whatever you want to call them, to
Right.
connect people. Now, can everyone do that? One is that everyone can be a good human being or is a good human being inside. Now, to be able to connect people, that is the skill that we are talking about. That
Well,
connecting.
that's you, my friend, because you are connecting all these beautiful minds in one platform.
So that is that a skill? First of all, is that a skill? Is it?
Yes, yes,
It
yes.
just happens. It's a way of life. It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. Yeah.
So I mean, that just yeah.
I think it's like some people say, oh, the fish doesn't realize that it's in this fish tank. So people don't realize that they have that.
Because the thing is that to be able to, I mean, what does it take to be able to connect people? I think that's basically the question. What does it take, and can everyone do it? So can we develop people to that level? And then that concept of whether it is training or is it skill development. These are the things that I've been trying to say, that look, you cannot train. The skill is there, like the seed is there, and you can develop it. That's also a skill development. But if you say that no, we can actually create that whole thing, then you're doing the training part, and we'll train you to be a mediator, because those are very, I mean, for me, the two totally different directions to go in.
Right. I mean, okay. Can somebody teach me to do good meditation? Is that training of a skill? What is it? Because I think that people need to be able to connect with themselves, with the inner self. And I guess training is more than just giving you tools and processes and methodology. Yes.
I'm just thinking from the analogy. I was thinking from the analogy. Can everyone become a router? That is the point. Can everyone connect everyone? Or look, because interestingly, let me tell you, like we have these phones now. First of all, phones, of course, connect to the router, but phones themselves can also become routers. Because when we have that hotspot, you can develop a hotspot. So you can actually connect people also. So can everyone develop into a hotspot? That's what you're trying to maybe get at.
Okay. Now you make me think something else, because some people are more extroverted and some people are more introverted. And some introverted can turn into extroverted. I have a friend who was very shy, and he got into training of acting in a theater to be able to be more extroverted. So maybe not everybody can do it, but first you want to be able to do it. So, can everybody be a router? I don't know, but first you need to want to be a router and dig deeper in yourself, not just with tools, with methodology, but you need some, like that movie of Julia Roberts, Pray,
Eat,
Eat,
pray,
Pray.
love.
Yeah, that. So you need do some, I don't know, go to the Tibet, I don't know, hang out with the Dalai Lama, I don't know, it's something like you need to, yeah.
Yeah, those are, because I'm saying that's what we're trying to explore. I mean, I'm not saying that we have the answers, definitely, but at least we are asking those questions, and that's how the discussion will go forward. Once we have a thought towards some side, because why it's important for me is really because of this reason, because I still feel that when we want to identify those with the mediator mindset and they have these elements, that's when mediation grows, when the right people are coming in. The other way is that no, we don't need those right people to come in, we'll make those right people in factories. So that is the difference, and I feel these qualities are so inherent in certain people that you can't really create it. Because interestingly, the first speaker who had come, Stefan, he was talking about how spirituality can actually change the genetic structure. So can you imagine? So you might have brought in a certain genetic structure because of a spiritual background in your family. Can you imagine that? So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
Right.
those are things inside you. I mean, your DNA of a certain type.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
thoughts
Right.
for discussion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so if
Well, I don't know enough to answer many questions, but can we have more people like Gandhi? I mean, like Mahatma Gandhi. I mean, with that thinking and I don't know. Can we multiply those routers, Gandhi routers?
yeah, exactly. No, like the fact that say Gandhi being able to connect people. Basically, that's what he did. He just connected people. It's not that, I mean, if you really look at him or his, I don't know about speeches also, it's not that he was like a major orator or something like that. He wasn't like that. It's just that he was able to, I think, just connect two people and connect people. I think that was what the main thing is. So those are the people who naturally can do it. I mean, it's not something that I think, okay, if it can be created, let's create it. I'm not saying that you don't, if you keep trying to create it, keep creating it. But can we, at this point of time, what we have with us, we have those people out there. Let's bring them out. I mean, that's the way I want to do it right now. Because I don't know, it's like saying that can we make gold in a factory? I don't know. I mean, maybe there is some process, maybe you can try it, but there is the natural gold out there. Let's just pick it up. Why not just pick it up while it's there, rather than saying we'll leave this gold here, we'll go into a factory and we'll create gold. I don't know. I don't know. These are thoughts which we need to bring forth.
Yeah.
So, Luis, in conclusion, what do you say?
We need to be more curious to learn about other people's world and the world inside people and their context and the world environment, right? We individuals are kind of whole universe. We need to explore that. Let's do some Star Trek inside people, like go and discover those universe within individuals. Yeah, we need to be curious about wanting, really sincerely wanting to learn about the other one. Caring about people.
Yeah. Perfect. But now the thing is that on 29th, 7 o'clock India time, I sent you the invite also. We have a discussion on learnings and key takeaways from the symposium. So please be part of that session. You've got the invite or not?
When is it?
It's 29th. I sent you a calendar entry kind of thing.
Okay, I will see. I have a meeting coming up, but let me see what can I do.
29th is 1 week away. 1 week we have.
29.
So, 29th. So 7 o'clock India time, which will be what, your
7 or 7:30?
7 o'clock.
Okay.
Because I just wanted to keep it a little earlier because of the people from Singapore and Australia. So a little bit earlier for them.
You already sent me invitation. You are already in my calendar, my friend.
Yes,
okay.
exactly. But you don't see that. Yes. I tried to be organized. I said, I know you are never going to check all this. Let me reach into your calendar and let me put myself
Sounds
there.
good. Connect with my calendar.
Yes, because Luis are not being able to connect to. At least his calendar I can connect to.
Sounds good. Sounds good, my friend.
Perfect. So thank you, Luis. Like always, a pleasure speaking to you, and definitely we'll seeing you again. So